So AJ makes his return on April 1st at the O2 Arena in London against Jermain Franklin. But is it the right fight for him?
Boxing.
Alright, welcome back. I hope everyone is doing well. So Anthony Joshua is returning to the ring on April 1st against Jermain Franklin. Obviously, we all remember Jermain Franklin recently fought Dillian Whyte in a very close competitive fight. I'd never seen Jermain Franklin or heard of him before that, I'll be honest. So I think a lot of us might have been expecting Whyte to kind of, you know, not clean him out, but decisively win. But I didn't really watch any research. I didn't do any research, so I should have known better. But he was crafty in there, you know. He presented a few problems. He was definitely quick, and he had some ring savvy as well. But is it the right fight for AJ? I think it is actually a pretty good fight for him in terms of, you know, look, the main objective is to get back in the win column. I was just made a video about this the other day. I'll leave the link here and at the end. In terms of Derek James was obviously strongly rumored to be training AJ, and he said, you know, we need to get back in the win, get back to winning ways, I think he said. And that is true for any athlete or any team. You know, even in football, when you have a team that's struggling at the bottom of the Premier League, you know, the best thing to just shut the critics up and get the confidence back is just to win by any way you possibly can. If it's an ugly win, you know, you'll take that. Obviously, what's better for AJ would to look really good and maybe get a stoppage in the end. But, you know, the win is the most important thing. In terms of other candidates on the table, I don't even know why Otto Wallin was on the table. That should not have been on the table, if you ask me. A southpaw that comes to win, and, you know, he's got his own ring savvy. He gave Tyson Fury a good fight. I think you stay away from southpaws and experienced people at the moment. The other Australian guy, I forgot his name again. I'll leave it on the notes down here. I'd not heard of him. I think it's important to bring in somebody that's fresh in the memory. You know, like this Jermain Franklin guy just fought recently, and like I said, he gave Dillian Whyte a decent fight. AJ would be favoured. Well, he is favoured, and you would likely think if AJ can't beat this dude, then, you know, he's got bigger issues, because he'll be heavily favoured. He'll be favoured. I would expect him to win. And I would like to see AJ just get back to basics, you know, get back on his jab and just settle into the fight and not look for the knockout. I know he's probably going to be desperate for a knockout, but with Derek James, just take the fight methodically, have a good approach to it, get on your jab, relax a little bit. And, you know, Jermain Franklin has got 14 knockouts on his record, but if you look a little bit closer, a lot of those stoppages came against, you know, really poor opponents. And I'm not saying he doesn't carry any sort of pop, but it's a good fighter to put AJ in there. You don't want to put him with a power puncher or anybody that can crack or anybody that's a southpaw and stuff like that. So it fits the bill for me, to be honest with you. How do you feel? Can you think of anybody else that you think AJ should be fighting as opposed to Jermain Franklin? I like the fact it's back in the UK, back on home soil. His last fight was in Saudi Arabia, we know that. I wouldn't have minded to see him in America, to be honest with you, but that's going to take a bit of time. And, you know, maybe one day, if he is with Derek James, they can have a fight in Texas, and he can build his fan base up over here. I think that's a great idea. But in terms of getting your confidence back, getting the winning ways, and, you know, just reboosting and the comeback career. I've said it for a minute. I've got a lot of faith in AJ's comeback. I really do. I think he's going to be okay. I see someone that has a lot left in the tank. I see someone that he got a lot out of his system that night against Usyk. You know, he had the meltdown at the end of the fight. And I just think that was good for him, to be honest with you. I think he really was holding in a lot of stuff, and I think sometimes when, you know, as human beings, and, you know, we explode in certain situations when we get a lot of stuff out of our chest, and it feels good. You know, whatever situation you're having in life, whether it's stress, this and that, or the other, it's good to let it out. And, you know, I'm sure he would have liked to let it out in different ways, but I think that would have been a massive weight off his shoulder, getting Usyk out of the way. I think he realizes that he gave him a good fight. Yes, Usyk won clearly, but if you look at how deep Usyk had to dig, in that, was it the 10th round, where he was, praying to, or like, gesturing to a higher power that, he was trying to summon some other energy. And that speaks volumes to what AJ was, what place he was putting Usyk in. And, Usyk, he's a special fighter, and that win, if Usyk wins the Undisputed, if that fight happens, and then you look back in the history books 20 years from now and you see AJ come up against Usyk, and you think, wow, fair play to him. He fought that guy, lost twice, no shame in that. Gave him a good fight if you watch the fight. So, yeah, I think AJ's at ease with himself. I think he's already ready for a new path. I think he's going to be just fine. I'm very excited to see what he's doing. And, you give him 2-3 wins on the trot against people he should be winning, he'll be in a good place, and then he'll be ready for a huge fight, hopefully. So I'm excited for this. Let me know how you feel about this. Just a quick short one. I'm happy the fight got announced. Boxing is hopefully on the up. If we can get some of these big fights, that's the missing piece of the puzzle, because at the moment it's looking all right. We just got to get these big fights signed. But that's it from me. Boxing on the Edge. Have a great week. I'll see you soon.